All right, it'll be interesting to see what the hell Beth thinks. After this episode, I was just like, "What? Save it for the review. I don't want to hear it. It'll make it fun." So welcome, Nate and Beth, stopping on by yet again to continue our reviews of Friday the 13th, the series. In this case,
This is episode, I forgot the number.
18.
Episode
Do you remember
18.
the title? Oh, season 2, episode 18.
A friend to the end. I remember that part.
So we of course thought I did. I can't remember what you thought. I
We
thought
both thought it was a doll.
we thought it'd be a doll because it's the Chucky slogan or whatever, but
We
we
were
were
both wrong.
both wrong. And honestly, oh god, this might be one of my least favorite episodes so far of the series. It does this weird ass thing where it's
Well, it's kind of two stories going on at once, and the first story was kind of grainy to show how old the story was, which was the main story. The child is resurrected by his parents, and then you flip to the future, and all of a sudden it's a sculptor holding one of Medusa's parts of Medusa's statue, which makes statues out of her victims. So it was kind of a play on two cursed objects at once.
what was the other we know the piece of Medusa shard was the object. What was the other cursed object?
A child's coffin.
Oh,
That whenever you put the corpse of a child into, it becomes a living child with bloodlust.
so this one, I guess because it didn't have one strong enough story for one item, it had two weak stories for two items. So
Yeah, true.
it's just like, what the hell? And it's so crazy, in my opinion, where it's
Well,
like
we did get how many kills? We got 3 kills out of it.
three. Yeah, I thought it was going to be four, but the cop survived, unfortunately. But it's just like, how can you have
Well,
two.
kind of was 4. Okay, 3.2, because the child died again.
Oh, I guess if you count the corpse kid who I guess had to keep killing to stay alive, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you yeah, that's true. We might as well.
There was 4. Did we count the delivery man from the drugstore?
I don't know. Maybe I was so bored I forgot to take note. Well, we
Anyway,
might not know the exact kill count in this because we were bored. Well,
3 or 4. He
I
was
was
bored.
bored out of my gourd watching this. Even though it has two stories, you think it'd be entertaining, but it's like two stories, and neither of them, in my opinion, were entertaining. So well, maybe Beth has a different thought.
Well, it was interesting to watch the 2 stories because in the Medusa shard, they actually kind of tricked the artist, got the shard, but then the sister of Mickey dropped off her nephew, Mickey's nephew. And so the nephew kind of mixed up the storylines a little bit. He was kind of in between both stories.
Yeah, where the bad woman who's got the shard thing and turning real women into sculptures kind of
Kidnaps the nephew.
holds the kid ransom to get the shard back. So it's like the kid's
And the
part
kid's
of
telling
both
us,
stories.
yeah, and the kid's telling a story of a young child in an abandoned house that lives by himself, and Ryan's like, stop telling stories, stop lying, and then Mickey goes through old newspaper clippings and finds out that it actually is a real story, that Uncle Lewis had sold a coffin to a desperate house mother who wanted her child back after her husband killed him, and received a blessing of a child's cursed coffin. And what did she sign it in the letter? Those who serve him.
Oh hell! I
Yeah,
was
she
so
was also
bored.
a Satanist. The couple was a Satanist, so anything,
Oh,
you know.
him meaning
Yes.
Santa rearranged.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's one of those. I didn't mind it so much. I liked the mixing of the stories, but they were 2 weak stories that together kind of made a half of a strong story.
My favorite part was just when Ryan gives the kid
Oh, the
the
bike.
bike and goes out and sees the kids on their trick bikes doing their trick stuff and stuff, and that reminded me of the 80s and being a kid and having a trick bike like that where I couldn't do any tricks, but I had the trick bike, and
Oh, yeah.
where it's got the thing on the handlebars where you can it's a special disc thing, so the top rotates and the bottom rotates, so you can spin the thing around and around and around as much as you want.
I never had a trick bike, but
Okay,
okay.
with the pegs and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're getting off topic because
Well,
you
it's the
really
only
did not like
way
this.
to get to 13 minutes. So another thing about the bike was
No, it was kind of
I had a
interesting
trick bike,
because
but I couldn't do any tricks.
in the beginning of the episode, the sister drops off the nephew, and since Ryan and Mickey were on this hot lead, they end up giving, is it BJ? JB? I can't I can't think of the kid's initials.
Dyslexic, it's backwards. JB.
Is it JB?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the J and B.
Anyway, they end
On
up
this Playboy,
giving.
there was this. Well, I gotta finish it now, otherwise they're gonna wonder. This ad, the holidays aren't the same without J and B. Jingle Bell. It said Ingle L's. Okay.
They didn't understand a single thing you just said.
I had a couple of Playboys from like 90 and 91, and my dad gave me, and they on the back there was an ad for J and B, and it said Ingle L's, and it says the holidays just aren't the same without J and B. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because J and B is a liquor and B and J is a blowjob. So
No, it wasn't a blow job ad.
BJ is blowjob.
But
J and B is alcohol.
Did I say BJ? If I did, I meant JB.
Yeah, JB, but BJ. Never mind.
I understand what BJ
Ingle
is.
Yes,
well, maybe we'll get 13 minutes anyway.
Now that we're arguing. So they give this child a antique bike to tell him to go play in the park. Like, oh yeah, that's great. Mom drops him off at the Curious Goods, and then you guys give him an antique bike and tell him to go play. It's
Until
like,
dark.
seriously, who's the worst person here? At least
Me.
the mom of this child sent him to adults, and then the adults are like, oh, here's a bike. Just don't let anything happen to it. Go
Yeah,
play
and
in
then
the
they're
park,
like,
be home before
his
dark.
mom is so horrible. She's such a bad mom. Be back before dark.
Exactly. So, and he comes back without the bike, and Ryan's all pissed because it was an antique bike, and well, whatever.
That's why
he
you
doesn't
don't
believe anything the child says.
don't lend anyone anything. That's on a separate note. That's
He
my
did
advice.
get the bike back.
Well,
at the end.
that's uncommon. Usually you don't get it back, or if you do, it's all fucked up.
Well, yeah, but
I'd recommend not.
going back to the storylines, the double storylines. So with the Medusa shard, which is kind of the intermittent story between the child's coffin case, what is it? Mickey poses as a model for this woman who has the Medusa shard, and Mickey's like, oh, it's hot in here, can we open up a window?
Take off your.
And then, take off your clothes after she gets into a pose.
She puts her in the pose and then says, "Take off your clothes." Makes a lot of sense.
But anyway, it was a
I
killer.
generally have them take off their clothes first.
Oh, really? This must happen while I'm at work. See, this is why there's rooms in this place I'm not allowed to go into.
I'm just kidding.
So she poses as this model, and the fake model sculptor, because she really doesn't sculpt these
Yeah.
women, she stabs them with the shard of Medusa once they're in complete incapacitated pain and cannot move. And then whatever pain face that they become a statue with, she sells these once alive people as stone statues.
Well, that was one of the only cool aspects. Is stab them with the shard, and then their pose. They become the sculpture, but the way it kind of grows over their skin with visual effects was kind of cool.
See, I knew there'd be something good in there.
Ooh,
So Mickey gets it and drops it out the window, and Ryan catches it, and then somehow...
Beth's like, throw it!
Yeah.
She was just holding it out the window for a while. Throw it!
It's indestructible. It's a cursed item. You're not going to break it. So Ryan gets the shard, and then I don't know how the kid gets it. I guess the kid's in the curious goods, and the woman comes to the. I don't even know how that even happened. I
Well,
guess
they
the
must have
kid.
brought it back in
Well, how did the
to
woman?
Curious Goods.
How did the woman find out who the kid was? I mean,
Oh,
that was
probably
just.
had Curious Goods address in Mickey's coat that she left there when she ran out of the place. Remember?
That's possible. Yeah, she took
It
off
might
her
have been that
jacket.
letter because there was some old letter addressed to Curious Goods back when Lewis. Remember
Okay.
666 whatever. What was the name of
Okay.
the street?
Druid Street.
Druid Street. Yeah. Oh, I want to also mention that I think this is the second one, in a row now where we haven't seen Marshak
Yeah,
again. So once
Marshak's
again,
gone.
some medical
Yeah.
testing going on, and
He's an old
Chris
man.
Chris Chris Wiggins. I can't remember what the
Yeah,
actor's
Chris
name.
Wiggins. Do we know? Oh, there that is. I don't get it because you're.
Oh, as your back pops.
That was my ankle.
Well, okay. So
So obviously you're not going to give him a very high rating
are we
for
gonna
this
do
one.
ratings right now?
Go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
do a notch up from full thumb down. It's almost a full. I can't remember if I've ever done a full thumb down.
No.
Well, this is a notch up for. Yeah, it's on the front here.
No, this is not. This is. I'm trying to find the next one.
Oh, okay. So it's
gotta
on the
be back
back.
here. Yeah. So anyway, so give your one up from a thumbs down. So you're like a 7.
Let me just look here.
It's
Disc.
underneath here.
Oh, that's convenient. We're gonna have to take a picture off
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, disc
camera or
4,
something.
disc 5. Okay, so I found it.
So before we mention that, Beth's gonna give her.
I actually
Thumb
liked
rating.
it. I'm gonna give it a full thumbs up just because of the creativity and mixing of the storylines. I thought it was, and I liked the ghost story where the little boy plays with an actual little boy, and he's devastated to find out he's actually a ghost.
Jesus Christ, this last
So-
disc is scratched up to all hell, so we'll have to.
Hopefully it plays.
You guys will find out in several weeks.
So I guess Nate and I are almost complete opposites on this rating.
Okay, we
But,
are.
we can't always agree with each other. And I did like it. I mean, it could have had more kills in it, but
Oh,
there's
man.
only... And the fact that the Medusa shard was in their hands and then disappeared means it's going to show up again. So that's cool.
Oh, God.
The next episode starts the next disc, and it's called The Butcher. So I'm going to say like a cleaver. Or a kitchen utensil.
I'm gonna say a butcher knife.
I said a cleaver or a kitchen utensil.
See how scratched that is?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So, we might not be able to review the last disc.
I hope so. I hope we can. It looks fine.
Looks scratched up to hell. You'll find out.
So I probably wouldn't put that in quite yet so we can take a picture of it so we'll know what the discs are without opening the case up and down again. So, thank you for listening to us banter over Friday the 13th case. Until next time.
Thanks for listening, everyone.